Welcome to Behind the Scenes, Project Management at Siemens. In this podcast series, you are not going to hear project management methodologies, processes, or guidelines, or not even projects in particular. You are going to hear stories, personal experiences, and journeys of people behind the scenes, project managers and commercial project managers within Siemens from all around the world. I'm Derya Iren. Welcome to Behind the Scenes, Project Management at Siemens. In this episode, our guest is Perihan Abouzahra. Hi Perihan, welcome to our podcast Behind the Scenes Project Management at Siemens. How are you today?
Hi Daria, how are you? I'm good. All is good. How about you?
Thank you so much. Could you start maybe introducing yourself to our audience?
Sure. I'm currently the Chief Financial Officer for Siemens Mobility UAE. I've been with Siemens for almost 3 years now. Previously, I was the Commercial Project Manager for the Egypt High Speed, which in Siemens we refer to as the Big Deal. It's really an interesting project that we as a company take pride that we are the contractor for this project that's really changing the country, the demographics in Egypt, and it's really an impactful project. Before joining Siemens, I was with GE for a couple of years, and actually I started my career as an auditor with PwC.
Oh, interesting.
Thank you. And I grew up in the UAE actually. So I'm Egyptian, but I grew up in the UAE. I studied in the American University of Sharjah. I graduated with a bachelor's of business administration with a major in accounting. And I'm a certified public accountant.
That is getting more and more interesting. Okay. So financial background, and then what inspired you to pursue a career in project management after all?
So when you are in an audit position, you are basically coming after the fact, after the action. You're looking at the figures and the results, and then when you look at these figures, you spot something that's really not in the way it should be, or as per the accounting guidelines and standards and so on. And it makes you think about the decision-making process that went down when certain actions were taken that resulted in these financial results. So when I was in audit, I was always coming after the fact. And I saw so many situations and so many incidents, and I could see from this perspective, I would really, really enjoy being in the action, taking the decisions, because I think having an audit background really gives you an edge, because you always think, what are the consequences of this decision or that strategy? And from this perspective, I think it adds a lot. It makes you, I wouldn't say that you are maybe risk averse. No, actually, it just gives you this holistic view where you are able to look on a broader level what my decision today will what would be the impact later on, or how will the results look like financially at least. So I think this really helped me a lot. It was my motive that I wanted to be in the action. I did not want to come after the fact. I wanted to be part of the decision making and part of the change. Also, there came a point in my life where I wanted to feel like I am working on something that's making a difference, that is impactful. And in this sense, there was nothing more perfect than joining Siemens for this Egypt high-speed project, because maybe as someone from the financial side or the commercial side, we're not doctors. We don't really impact people's lives. We are working on numbers, statements, reports, and all of this. So you really don't have a direct impact. You cannot really take a big pride in what you're doing and say that this is changing the world. it's not really changing the world, unfortunately. But working with this project in Egypt is actually something that gave me a lot of pride. I was very happy to be part of this because this is a 2,000 kilometer rail network that's really connecting the entire country together. So people who are maybe working in places very far away from their home, because Egypt is a big country after all, and maybe most of the work opportunities are located in the big cities. So people from smaller cities, they have to travel a lot to go get better work opportunities. You would be changing the lives of those people, that they would be able to see their families more often. They don't have to suffer to get to their jobs. You're just making mobility easier, and also on the economic side, you are making it very easy to transfer goods across the country, and it's really, like they have another name for this project, like as the Suez Canal on wheels,
Wow,
because it's
that's
really
amazing.
yeah, it's adding also another revenue stream to the country, which is also very impactful. And I always see that the way to develop a country is I think transportation, improving the transportation networks. This is one of the first steps, and a lot changes along with that. So the shape of the country, how the roads, the people who would live closer to certain areas, you're changing the shape of an entire country. And this is something that gave me a lot of pride, and I would be very happy that when anyone asks me, so what are you doing? I would be like, the Egypt High Speed, I'm working on that project. And people would be so fascinated, and it's so interesting. And it really was. So, and there was a lot of learning during that time. And
We will come back to that, but before going into, so I really love how you define that you would like to be in the part of making decisions, creating impact. So, was there a pivotal moment or a person that influenced your decision to going into project management, or was it the opportunity that was coming to you? So how was that decision moment for you, changing the way of your career and diving into project management?
let me tell you that I think maybe this was somehow like the law of attraction. So I was in a point in my life where I was really feeling that I need to make a change. I need to do something different. I need to feel like the effort that I'm putting at work is giving me some sort of satisfaction that I was not getting. And at that time, at this phase of my life, I was approached by Siemens. So I was headhunted. And let me tell you that it was not even, it was the quickest decision ever. I did not have to think twice. So when
Right
Siemens
time,
calls,
right?
you answer.
Okay,
Yeah,
perfect.
exactly.
Great.
And the right time. It was the right time. So I felt like, as I mentioned, law of attraction. This is what I was looking for. Although I was very busy in my previous job, so I did not have the capacity to actively search for other opportunities. But this came, and I was very, very happy with it.
Oh, great. Amazing. We will talk a lot about the project and your learnings, and maybe to finish this career development of yours. Now you are the CFO. So how did that evolve from managing this huge project and then becoming a CFO? I see it very meaningful because we always talk about project managers are the CEOs and commercial project managers are the CFOs of a project. And sometimes these big projects can be like managing a company, actually. So how do you see this connection? How does this experience help you to grow into your role as a CFO?
Okay, so maybe I will answer your question, but there is something that came to my mind when you were asking this question, is how did this transition happen? So on, first of all, I take big pride that I was able to reach the ultimate goal for anyone who is in this financial career, that the ultimate goal is that you want to be a CFO at the end. And I take pride because actually I did this in a very young age. So I'm now 30 years old. And for me, this was a big achievement
It
because I
is.
felt like during yeah,
Yeah, it
during
is.
this during my career, this is the ultimate dream, and the fact that I was able to reach it, this was something of pride to me. When you are a commercial project manager for a multi-billion euro project, you face a lot of decisions and challenges, and you get a lot of experience in a very short time, because every day your day is packed with a lot of topics, a lot of, sometimes you are in firefighting mode, sometimes you have a lot that you want to get done. So it's a very packed and condensed experience where you, in a very short time, you will learn a lot. Transitioning from this to developing to a CFO, I was very happy that my managers could really see the effort that I was putting in. They were very happy with the results that we were achieving, and in that sense, they were more than happy to support my development into a role that I was aspiring to. And this is what makes Siemens so great. That if you are putting in the effort, and you are showing up, and you are really keen on growing the business, taking the right business decisions, keeping all your stakeholders informed, and all of that, all your efforts are appreciated. I never felt that any effort I put in Siemens went to vain, honestly. So I honestly owe my development to my former boss, which I have to mention his name because he is a great man, and to me he is a mentor, and he will always remain a mentor. Harald Rufler, he is the commercial project director for the Egypt High Speed. This man, he was also a big part of my development, and he taught me a lot. It taught me a lot in project management, in dealing with people, in handling rough times. He is a big inspiration. So to me, I would say that how did I move into a new role, or how did that come along? I think it was the effort, and of course, I would never say that whatever results that we have achieved in Egypt, it's not a one-man show. We are a big team, and we are all working together. And the success is that you are able to work together as a team. So it's not a personal achievement; it's a collaborative one. But it's also that you have the right support. You have people who are really valuing what you bring to the table, and are very keen on your development, and they don't really think of their personal interests and how they will be impacted. No, they push you forward, and they would be happy to see you grow, and they are always happy, and they take pride with whatever achievements that you get later on in your career.
Wow, that's amazing. I was going to ask this question later on, but already got the answer of a mentor. But maybe I can change it like this. So now you're a young woman, reached a higher level in your career, so you are a role model to other women as well. And you mentioned about the importance of having a mentor, having someone guiding you here and there. So how do you take this and maybe give it back to the colleagues or to the society?
I'm always very keen that my team always feels supported. They feel like, and I don't differentiate whether
Yeah, of
women
course.
or men. Whenever I'm working with my team, I always focus on making sure that they are comfortable. They are happy to come to work every day. And it's something that maybe would destroy me if anyone from my team would tell me that they come to work, they're not happy to come to work, or they struggle to come to work, because this means that I failed to do my job. And for me, I always make sure that I am trying to give back to my team in a form of giving opportunities for them to be seen, giving opportunities for them to grow, giving opportunities for them to make mistakes. Because as much as, so if a little bit about me, I'm a perfectionist. And if I'm gonna be quite frank, when I first started my career, it was always difficult for me to work in a team, because I would feel like I don't trust this person enough to do the job as I would like it to be done. And then later on, when I was growing and developing more into my career, I started realizing that it's absolutely, first of all, there's a reason where it's absolutely impossible for you to do everything. So you are forced to rely on others. Life will force you to do that. And the other part was that needed to accept that people as well deserve the opportunity to learn, deserve the opportunity to make mistakes and learn from them, like I was given this opportunity. And this is something that I'm always very keen on providing my team. And the thing that I focus the most, that even when my team makes a mistake, I never make it a big deal. It's always something that we will salvage. It's fine. You learned from it. Maybe the disappointing part would be if these mistakes are repeated. I always believe that you don't make the same mistake twice, make a different one. This is absolutely fine. This is how you grow. But if I answer your question in a more direct, straight to the point, I give it back by giving this platform for people to be seen. So give them opportunities, and I would give them the room for them to be the person they want to be, not to do my things my way. I really like to see people do things their own way, because we are always learning from each other. So if I did something one way and it worked out, maybe you can do something in a different way and it works out even better, even faster. So we get better results, and I never think that it needs to be done in a so manner. So I like people to be their own selves, to do things their way, and to have the room to grow at their own pace without being compared to anyone, without being benchmarked to anyone. So they do this in their own timeline.
Yeah, that's really important. How does Siemens corporate culture influence your approach to project management? Are there specific values or practices at Siemens that have shaped your work?
Of course, in Siemens, you really need to respect your limits of authority. So you have to make sure that you are, whatever decision that you are taking, that you are authorized to take this decision. You need to make sure that you are compliant in how you are acting with your colleagues and externally and all of that. And Siemens is very strict on compliance compared to the previous companies that I've worked with. For me, as my own personal values really align with how Siemens does it in terms of compliance. I'm very strict about certain topics where there's no discussion there, and this is my personality. So I think Siemens gave me this platform to be able to act in a way which more resembles my personality. I guess you always have to pick an employer that has the fit, the fit with your ideologies, with your values, with how you do things, the mindset, and all of that. So working with Siemens was actually very comfortable in a sense that I was able to be more of myself.
That's I think very important. So what has been the most challenging thing in your project? Maybe you can tell us how you overcome that challenge or these obstacles as well.
My biggest challenge at that time was struggling so many things at the same time. Just the time management. It was a challenge because it's a very demanding job. It's no secret. And you have to also struggle. You have to juggle as well your personal life, your family, your friends, your whatever growth that you want to do outside of work in certain areas, which are not necessarily academic. Like you want to, for example, you want to get better your painting skills to be better. You want to grow those. So I was really struggling at that point because I was making sure that my life literally revolved around work at that time. And I think the way I tried to, I wouldn't say I took it under control 100%. I think after some time I decided that I needed to get some order in my life. I did this in a sense where I internally I started, I wouldn't say meditating, but I would say that just as an internal mindset that it's okay the day has only 24 hours. whatever is going to be done today, we will do it today. Whatever is not going to be done today, we will do it tomorrow, and the world will not end. So
To calm yourself down, right?
yes, exactly, because I always feel like I'm the meanest person to myself. So so I decided to be kinder to myself. Accept that there are things that will not all get done today, and accept that I have responsibilities as well towards my family, towards my friends, towards myself. That I need to take a breath and take time to do something that I enjoy. So I think that was one of the biggest challenges at that time, is just juggling everything.
Yeah, I think it's not a sprint, but it's a long run, the life, and we need to keep up the pace that it helps us to continue in a way, right? Okay, so coming to a little bit enjoyable parts. What is the most enjoyable aspect of working with diverse teams on these complex projects?
First of all, when you're working with a diverse team, it's always interesting because you're learning more about a culture than you would ever learn from watching a TV show or a movie or whatever. So dealing day to day with people from different cultures, this is quite interesting, and this is something that I've been exposed to my entire life because I grew up in the UAE, as I mentioned, and the UAE is a very multicultural country.
How does it take, or what does it take to succeed in high stake environments?
I think the way to succeed is to stay calm. You need to stay calm. Of course, you cannot maintain that all the time, but you need to stay calm for most of it. Not take things personally. Understand that there is a solution. Even if you do not see it immediately, there is a way that you can get out of a certain challenge or a certain issue and so on. So having this mindset that it can be done and we can do it. We can do it as a team. So no self-limiting beliefs. And being okay and open to the fact that you will make mistakes. If you are juggling 10 things and you drop one, there are 9 things that you are still juggling. So that's good. This is a good thing. So I think those 3 things really are the ones that got me through.
And what keeps you motivated during this long and complex projects, and especially when facing setbacks or going through hard times?
That I always focus at the overall goal, what we want to achieve. What we want to achieve is that we see these trains running, for example. And this is something that I focus on. And then at some point, now I have certain moments where I look back to. So when we had the zero showcased in Egypt, and how, first of all, the pride I felt when I saw the train as if I was the one manufacturing it. It's so silly, but the pride I felt when I saw the reaction of the public to the train and how nice the train was. And this train was showcased among other trains as well from different companies and so on, and how this train stands out. So this is a moment of pride which really made me feel like, okay, all the effort is worth it. And this is a moment that I look back to and I look forward to feeling this pride again.
Amazing. Maybe going into a little bit of the future. We see that a lot of things are changing in means of technology, in means of methodologies in project management. And 2 questions maybe: how you adapt yourself and your style to accommodate those changes, and maybe also what do you see are the biggest impacts or biggest changes when you look into the future of project management?
Maybe if the way I see it, I'm not in a generation where I was born and there was technology already running like younger generations, and I'm not in a generation where technology came to me later in life when I was very old. So in that sense, I always see that whatever changes that technology is bringing to our lives is more than welcome. if something is gonna make my life easier, I'm happy to take it by by the arms. So for me, I always get really fascinated when I hear about a new tool that's gonna make a certain process quicker, or it's gonna eliminate certain steps, or it's gonna even if it's as simple as just making sure that the job was done right. For me, as a mindset, I really value and treasure changes, technological changes, and I really encourage people to use the tools. And I think this is something that, as an entity within Siemens, we are moving towards, and something that I really respect from my top management, that they have this mindset of really inspiring people to grow through using tools, and also putting in the investment to have these tools and to change how we are doing things, to shape our day in a different way. So it was always envisaged that technology is going to make it easier for us as humans. So we have to work less and we have better results and all of that. So from my perspective, it's something that I'm always welcoming. In terms of, sorry, what was your other question?
The future of project management. So, how do you see that it is evolving, and maybe especially in your region?
So I think it's evolving in a sense that now we have very qualified people who are in the region, the region is becoming more interesting to very high calibers. So it's changing in a way where in the past the Middle East region was more, and I wouldn't say in the past, even somehow until today, the Middle East region is depending heavily on getting being supplied from abroad. And I think what's changing right now is that people have a different mindset. They are more interested in being independent. They want to grow their own center of competencies. They want to have their own bank of knowledge, and they want to run the show completely from where the customer is at. And I think there's a big advantage to that, because when you are closer to the customer and you have the agility, you will be able to provide products that better match what the customer wants and better match the climate, the situation, the needs. So something that's more tailored to this region.
Talking about skills and mindsets of the project managers, what do you think are the crucial ones?
I think the crucial ones are the ones that are focused around people, that your team is okay, they are satisfied, they are growing, I'm not only expecting them to get their job done, but I'm also concerned about their well-being and where they want to go and their development and all of that. So I think this is really key, because if you don't have a team that is satisfied and that works towards the same goal that you want to achieve, then there's no project. There's that's the thing. So it's project management. I believe it's an art of dealing with people. It's nothing more than that. So you can have technical skills. This is well and fine, but it's not the cake. The cake is knowing how to deal with people, how to keep them motivated, how to make them achieve the same goal that you want to achieve. And so I think this is really important.
What advice would you give to someone just starting out project management career?
Well, the advice I would give to this person is that they really need to be flexible. They need to be flexible and take on whatever opportunity they have to learn, even if it's not within the limits of their role. So be open and eager to learn, because there's a lot to learn in project management. And it's very enriching and it's a very valuable experience. And if at a point this becomes very stressful and overwhelming, the promise is that at the end of this, you will have something valuable to look back on, and to give you certain self-actualization. You're happy with what you're doing. So the advice would be flexible. Don't let go of any learning opportunity. And the advice would be to go through with this experience. This is a very, very interesting experience. Project management, as I mentioned, it's the art of dealing with people, managing people, and getting a very hopefully a very good result at the end. So a tangible one. The advice would be to be open and eager and flexible.
What advice would you give to your young self if you go back to the start of your career? Or what would you have done differently?
The advice I would give to myself is to take it easy. That I don't need to be at multiple places at once. That things are that I don't need to take things so serious because I was so hard on myself as going through my career. And that I guess on the personal side matters. Yes, it's always good that you have a goal and that you want to achieve in your career and that you're very dedicated and you're very committed to what you're doing and your work and your learning and all of this. But the personal side is equally important. So if I would change things, I would really give more time to my family, give more time to my friends, maybe have a better attention to my health, work out more. So
And will
that's
you do
something that I would change.
Okay, will you do these for the future now? Looking from
I
now,
am
yeah.
trying. It's a work in progress, but I will get there. I'm sure I will.
Yeah, sure. And what are your dreams for the future? I know that you're already kind of have reached on a level where you were dreaming of, but what are your future dreams? So you still have a long career ahead, right?
Yeah, I am. I don't know if it's politically correct to say this, but I am interested in Carl's chair. So this is something that I'm aspiring towards, be a global CFO for a huge company like Siemens. This is
Amazing.
now the new dream. Yeah. But really on a smaller scale. Currently, I am trying to push myself to study for a master's in finance. So this is something that I'm looking forward to. That I would really juggle that along with my current responsibilities, which is adding more pressure. So maybe if you go back 2 minutes ago when I was saying I'm trying.
The balance, workout, family, so okay. Still goals.
And then yes, exactly. Yeah, so the thing is I get a lot of joy out of my work. And I think this is the thing that really
It's the magic, right?
pushes me to keep going and to always go towards that direction. Although I know that there are other directions that are important and that are necessary in case of my health, but I always feel like the part that gives you the most joy is the one that really pulls you towards it.
Yeah, that keeps you waking up every day, right?
Exactly. You spend more time at work than you spend anywhere. And the people you spend, the people at work, you spend with them more time than you spend with your family. So like 70%, 70 to 80% of your day is at work. So you have to really like what you're doing, otherwise life is miserable.
Yeah. We don't want our lives to be miserable, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, thank you very much. It was joyful. It was a lot of fun and very interesting talking to you, Perihan. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Daria. I really enjoyed speaking to you as well, and I hope we can do this again soon.
Yeah, hopefully. Thank you for listening. I'm Derya Iren. This podcast is a production of Siemens. If you would like to explore our world, please visit siemens.com.